I mean, you mentioned Asia Wilson at the height of her powers, and I feel like it's time to have a conversation about like who has been higher at the height of her powers than Asia Wilson, right? Becky Hammon and the Aces have been very casual about throwing around the word GOAT with Asia over these playoffs, and I'm always hesitant, to get there because she's 8 years into her career, and like there's a lot left, and a lot of people in WNBA have accomplished a lot of things, but it's getting harder and harder to just apply an argument that like counteracts any of that. Like Maya Moore played for 8 years in the WNBA, and she's always been like my personal favorite player, but like Asia's surpassed pretty much everything that Maya has done. If she gets a fourth title here, like that'll tie Maya for what she accomplished in those years. Cynthia Cooper's always had a very strong case with the 4 titles to start her career. Admittedly, she came into the WNBA in her 30s just because of the time in her life. But like, if you get to number 4 on the championships, like only Rebecca Brunson has more than that. And like that was as a role player, right? She was never the dominating force on any of those championship teams. You're combining not 4 titles. I'm confusing this with 4 MVPs. I apologize. But when you get to like 3 titles, 4 MVPs, the scoring record, you mentioned this on your last show that like if she wants it, she'll have it, right? Just with the number of games that the WNBA is going to have, like Asia Wilson's going to break every single scoring record. The amount of rebounds she gets, she's going to break those records if she wants to, right? I can't imagine you looking at this Aces team and thinking like, hey, like this is a dynasty like waning now, right? Like we've seen what they're able to do when they flip the switch. If the players want to come back. And like Asia just keeps getting better, right? Like I remember thinking her 2023 season was just like one of the greatest seasons I'd ever seen in the WNBA when the Aces went 34-6 and she didn't win MVP. And I was like, how is this possible? Like literally one of the greatest seasons I've ever seen for a player in the WNBA. And she just improves upon it both years, right? Like I know people have said that like this year didn't quite match the statistical profile of her season in 2024, but like she was more impactful for her team this year, I think, than she was last year. And like, it's crazy to think that she's not even 30. She's just continuing to improve. She's already the best player in the league. She's already widely recognized as the best player in the league. It's the kind of thing where like other teams are just saying, yeah, like they have Asia, that's the best player in the world. Like you have to figure out how to stop her. And just like the casual way that this is acknowledged already is just fascinating. And I'm hesitant to give like somebody under 30 a GOAT title, but like we were willing to talk about Breanna Stewart this way a couple of years ago. So maybe it's time that like this conversation is actually had like in earnest. Like who is really in contention with Asia Wilson like for a GOAT title at this point, assuming, they get number 3 a couple of days from now.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that certainly among her peers in the league right now, she has the best resume of anybody that's currently playing. And to be able to do that again, like while she's only 29 years old, and she will have equalized Stewie's rings, and that's a player who everybody was chasing when Asia Wilson came into the league. So I think that's actually a pretty huge accomplishment for her. And then from there, I think it's just this understanding that she is on the stairway to gathering up the accolades that the rest of the players that you talked about already have. And I, from a discourse perspective, am completely fine with starting to celebrate her in the moment before all of that stuff has already happened, because you can see the writing on the wall. She has already accomplished so many things. This game-winning shot is just one more, feather in her cap. It just adds
one thing
the
about the
highlight
game-winning
reel.
shot real quick, like the photo that's been circulating of her, like as she's taking the shot and the clock says 2.2 seconds left. Is so perfect that it has like the 22 on it. Like I don't know if anyone planned that. Like there are a couple shots and that's the one that's been posted, but it's a very nice homage to 22.
Oh, I love that. I did not catch that. Really good eye. And yeah, the number 22 in women's basketball just,
having a moment.
We just continue. Like there's a lot of, having a moment. Yep. Things are getting supernatural around here. I think that's the theme of this game. Yeah, I am completely fine with us maybe fast forwarding a little bit, because we should be able to enjoy greatness while it's happening. It's so evident that she is a cut above everybody else, and the things that she's able to do, these are the moments that really prove it to you too, right? I think this season in general, I think as somebody who kind of like I am a newer observer of the WNBA, I think this season is the one that really, really stamped it for me, because last season was obviously incredible. First 1,000 point season in WNBA history. Single season scoring record, all of that, probably, the peak of her statistical powers, right? But at the same time, like, the Aces kind of fizzled out. And I think what you're looking for when you're talking about GOATs is really like that in the moment intangibles, like the ability in a game like this to just like go for the jugular, the ability to take a team that was 14-14 and be everything that they need you to be on and off the court. Like, I think this is a season that took the most out of A'ja Wilson as a player. The adjustments that she had to make after the defense is switched up on her. She has grown so much as a playmaker. Beyond the growth as a playmaker, though, there's an ability to read the game and to say, oh, like, cute double team. Like, I don't care. And I think like that's like the killer instinct.
But also send some more doubles,
showing.
Phoenix. Like, it's not nearly frequent enough.
Yeah, it's both. I find myself going back and forth on this a lot, because I know that there's not a lot of nits to pick with Phoenix. At the same time, it's just like I tweeted, I wrote about this as well. You can have issues with a double and the coverage, and I felt like DeWanna Bonner probably shouldn't have shot the gap on the screen, because once you've let A'ja Wilson catch the ball, it's pretty much over from there. Like, your chances of winning the game just go down astronomically after that. At the same time, like, I don't know, man. Sometimes you're just up against an unstoppable force. Like, Phoenix fans have seen this. Like, sometimes you have Charles Barkley and the other side has Michael Jordan. And no matter what you do, they are going to find a way to get through whatever scheme you throw at them. Like, I feel like really that's a lesson of this for Phoenix more than anything else, is to find personnel that can at least bother A'ja Wilson. Because as much as right now we're talking about her as that she's like the supernatural, unstoppable force, we have seen her get bothered. The Indiana Fever with Aaliyah Boston probably made her more uncomfortable than any team I've seen this season, right? Like,
I mean, she put up like the Seattle 38 Storm in the closing also. Game, didn't she?
Yeah. Well, she got there, but like, it's also like she's doing this stuff at the start of the series, right? Like, Aaliyah made it very tough for her in the beginning, and then you can go back to the Seattle Storm series as well too, where you just, even to have a couple of possessions where Dominique Malonga and Ezi Magabor make life hard for her for enough of a stretch that you can maybe catch a foothold. Because at the end of the day, with Phoenix, they lost game 1 and game 3 by very close margins, right? Like, if a couple of those shots don't go down, you might be looking at a very different series. I mean, I feel like it all comes back down to game 1 for the Mercury. That was the one to get. If you're looking at a 2-1 deficit, you're feeling very, very different about yourself.
Totally fine.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, you try to find ways to make things difficult, and I think like they just don't have the personnel to do it. And in the absence of personnel, there's no scheme that's gonna like trick A'ja Wilson into making a mistake at this juncture.
No, you're absolutely right.
Even the turnover, she had the one turnover, right? Like, it was like it was such a shock that she turned over the ball, because she just doesn't do things like that. Sorry,
no,
go
she
ahead.
Doesn't. Yeah. No, you're right. Just personnel-wise, I mean, the teams that we've seen A'ja Wilson struggle against, or struggle, in quotes, are ones that have size, like the combination of Ezi Magabor and Dominique Malonga, or, Aaliyah Boston, or, thinking about last year with Jonquel Jones and Brianna Stewart, teams that like can put bigger bodies on her. Even dating back to that Phoenix series you were mentioning earlier, like Brittany Griner was a bigger body who could defend her. There's just nobody that Phoenix is willing to play, first of all, that has that size. I mean, I thought maybe we'd see some of Kalani Brown by now. We have not, but Nate's really riding with his 8. And Phoenix is just a little bit more limited. I mean, like, I think about, you mentioned like how many more like Monica Coleman, how many pick and rolls we can get. Like, Sammy Wickham's limitations, I think, are really showing in this series. And I think a lot of it stems from that knock that she took in game 1. Like, she just has not looked the same. I don't think did she make a shot in game 2? And I don't think she made a shot in game 3 either. But they don't have the options that Vegas does to turn to. And some of that is Vegas is just better at getting what they want to get to, but also just like you said, their personnel is a little bit limited. And for all of the good things Phoenix did in the earlier parts of the postseason, like, this is just a different beast to try to slay, right? Like, they're not built to contend with a player like Asia Wilson. I mean, how they like couldn't contend with a player like Bree Jones earlier in the year, right? They were swept by Atlanta during the regular season. So I think personally, like I just underestimated the matchup here. Like I just saw Phoenix playing at a certain level and thought like they could sustain this level when it's really, the team in front of you is pretty important, right? And the fact that they have a singular type of player who Phoenix is just not built to deal with, like that's something that they're gonna have to address during the offseason.